This is like dynamite and gold, so we'll just crack on.
No, I can't get the bleeding volume up.
Oh, yeah.
No,
You
that's
don't need
it.
no volume.
You don't need no volume.
Yeah.
I tell you
Can you
what,
hear me?
it's starting to grate a little bit.
I can hear you, mate.
Who fucking needs two guitarists?
We do.
You don't.
Insult. It's a pleasure to meet you guys.
And you,
And
mate.
you.
And you.
Likewise, mate.
Right.
This is Dave Cider Baby for Rock Radio UK. We're doing a little interview here. We haven't met, but I do know a little bit about you. One of my photographers took a few pictures at the Steve Grimmett
Oh, right.
tribute gig.
Yeah.
You've lost a couple now. Where are they gone? Oh, there we go. Back again.
Wings of Angels Festival, yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So I'm aware of what you're capable of. Long before I had contact with your PR and received the album. So what Andrew said at the time, he was literally blown away by your set. So,
Oh, right.
That's cool.
well
Mine
done
is
on
one
that.
guitarist, I hasten to add.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we were down at guitar set.
That's why it went down so well.
Is that,
Yeah, we didn't want to say that though, Rob. All right, but
Well, I'll
now-
say it for
now
you,
I think
Jay,
about
because I
it,
know it's on your mind, because I can predict you quite easily. Anyway, carry on.
so, Insult, let's get to know you. Where did it all start?
Jay Sow, you can go with that one.
Yeah, go on, Chase. He
Well,
actually started.
Insult started back possibly early mid-80s when Onslaught went touring. I did a few gigs with them around Europe and all that as a labourer. And when we got back and it was in between touring and gigging, we just got a little covers band that together. It was all punk, bit of rock, bit of Motorhead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we did that a few times.
Oh, good fun, wasn't it? Yeah.
And then I moved away and my career ended after about 8 years. I think it was. And I was off the planet. We lost touch for what, 35 years, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably something like that.
Yeah.
And we got back together. Well, we started getting in contact with each other back 2 and a bit years ago, probably nearly 3 years ago now. We got Insult together as a covers band. Done a few. It was really good, and we were in the studio one night, and we just thought about, why don't we just do one of our own?
Someone came up with a stupid idea of writing our own song, didn't they?
Yeah.
I think we all burst out into fits of laughter, I think.
Yeah, I can
I
believe
said,
it.
really? But then one of the two guitarists, Johnny or Rob, put his hand in his pocket and said, well, I've got a load of riffs in my pocket. Do you want to hear one? And so we sort of played this one. It's like, fucking hell. We can't let that go to waste, can we? And that's how it started, really.
Okay. So from one song, we have an entire album, Reside Infernus. So just walk me through that. I mean,
love the damn thing.
actually, it's a very good album.
We're
I know I'm paid to say stuff like, well, I'm not paid at all, but I know I'm supposed to say things like that. But I've listened to the album a couple of times now, and it sort of takes me back to the golden age of the metal I grew up with.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I'm thinking, yeah, I'm missing all of this, in today's market. So, if you want to turn back the clock to real metal when it was really good, this is the album for you, Reside Infernus by Insult. So you tell me about it. You tell me how it all come about. Sorry, not.
Go on, John, have a dip your bread in, Johnny.
So really what Steve was saying, we were just jamming riffs in the studio, and we were writing these songs, and it just went from one song to another. And before we knew it, we had this album, and a lot of energy went into it, and we thought, let's make something of it, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the one thing I will say that apart from Jay Stallard, the two guitarists, and Jay Stallard as well. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but as I understand it, they've really played in like covers bands, you know.
Not entirely, but
All right,
not
yeah,
for
well,
a while.
Go on.
Yeah, I haven't played in an originals band since late 90s, mate. And then I was in covers bands since then, and literally until you put that advert on Facebook. But then the advert was for playing covers. So I answered it, and obviously we hooked up and we had a right laugh at a few gigs. And then, as you say, we kind of started some original stuff, and it's all sort of stemmed from there, really, and it's turned into this bloody monster, which is like amazing. Loving it, all of us. Yeah, awesome.
The riffs that have come out with, I've got to say, are just fucking incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
They bring them up the studio, and I just crack up. I just start laughing because I no disrespect, I didn't know these guys until they came on board with me, but I didn't know them, and I didn't know what they was capable of. But the stuff they come out with is just fucking unbelievable, man. It's just like, wow. And I listen to it now. I mean, I was listening to it on the plane coming back from Thailand in my headphones, and I can still pick up stuff that I never heard when we was recording it. And I'm laughing on the plane like, fuck, it's like special little bits that because they recorded a lot of it when I wasn't there, so I didn't really hear everything they'd done.
Right.
But listen to what they're playing, these little quirky little things coming out from like all parts of like your head, where they've been panned to the left, panned to the right, panned to the background, and it's just awesome. Really, really, really good. Really good. They did a great job.
So who
and
did
another thing, we basically, apart from Jace, we all went to the same school. Sadly, a lot of different years between us. But yeah, we lived probably all within a 4-mile radius of each other.
Not even that, Jace. It's a mile radius of each other.
Background as well.
Yeah, it was less than a mile radius of each other. If you think about it, they lived at bloody Mill Lane Hill. You lived in the middle. I lived down. It's literally a mile.
Where did Jace live, Adam?
Yeah, but he didn't go to school, did he?
No, but even so, Jace was up in Annam, so yeah, still 4-mile radius.
Yeah.
The rest of us within spitting distance.
Yeah. It is a small world, but you can walk past each other without knowing.
Yeah. You all knew each other.
I didn't know Johnny or Rob.
Oh, no.
I knew Steve, but only like by sight, like in the pubs local to me. I like him and obviously one or two other members of Onslaught, like back in the day. But never actually, might have said hello now and again, but without realising who each other were, like kind of thing.
I went to school with Steve's brother. I was in the same year as him, Tony.
Okay.
And me and Rob were neighbours growing up in the 80s, 70s, 80s.
70s and 80s, mate, yeah.
Yeah, from each other. So, yeah, Rob had to suffer my stereo on full blast with the windows open.
I loved it. It was great.
I think it's something to do with a religious sect that they never talk about.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah,
now you mention it.
The only reason you had to suffer your radio is because you used to play Kylie Minogue for a while.
You should be so lucky.
Yeah.
Shall we get back to the album?
You took us down a dangerous path. You let us do
I think I did, yeah. Right, let's talk to the album. I'm going to ask each and every one of you what track you particularly like. Steve, let's start with you. Pick a track.
This is an interesting one because the song that I think now is probably one of the strongest tracks on the album is one of the tracks I wanted to bin because I didn't like the lyrics that I'd written. I didn't like the phraseology of it, the way it was put together, and it didn't really flow that well. The chorus and the pre-chorus was great, but the actual verse I didn't like it. So we left it till last. We had it sort of on the back border in a rough state, and we said we'll revisit it when we've done everything else. So we was running out of time, and literally we got to the point where we missed the deadline, and I said, look, I think we should just think about binning this song. And it's like, no, we can't do that, and Kev's, the manager said, no, you need to do it. We need the eight tracks on the album. And it's turned out fucking brilliant. It really has. It's turned out to be my favourite song. Berserker.
Okay. Right. Just up. Shall we ask you?
Well, they're all fucking good tracks. You know, I can remember in the rough mix stages, you know, we was listening to it, and I just looked at everyone and I was like, fucking hell, we've made a monster. And they're all bloody good. But my favourite, I think, is Reside, the actual title track.
Yeah, man.
Right.
Yeah, without doubt, I think. But they are all good. And like we didn't know really which one to bring out as a single. But we did decide on this one. 0 to 60, Death of Glory. And the second we're still a bit like that, aren't we?
Well, it was like it seemed user friendly, didn't it?
Yeah.
An introduction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I can remember saying, everybody, you know, that listened to us with Onslaught are gonna love this album. You know, they're gonna love it, and
what we like about it is when we sort of started this project, writing our own stuff. I mean, obviously, we come off the background of like doing punk covers, so the first couple of tracks first couple of riffs that the guys come out with were sort of punk orientated, you know, that sort of like quite simplistic sort of repetitive riff, you know, with like hard sort of growly vocals over the top of it. So that 0 to 60 track, really, I said, let's try and write one that encompasses and encapsulates like punk and metal. And I think it does it quite nicely. It sounds like GBH and it sounds like Motorhead.
Yeah.
All in one.
Yeah.
That's my personal sort of take on it.
Okay.
And it seems to be going down really well. People I personally know that like kind of punk music like it. People I know that like metal music like it. People that like mainstream sort of rock music like the Foo Fighters, etc., like it. So it's kind of done what it was supposed to do, really.
Excellent.
Do you like it, Steve?
Yes, I do like it. I do like the album. I'm actually torn for myself. Holy War is quite good, and Reside, but Bloodthirsty, I think, just takes just takes it for me. That's my take on it. Johnny, what about you?
I'm torn a bit between Bloodthirsty and Holy War, Sea of Tears, because they're very like you say, going back to the old school of metal and stuff in the 80s and that sort of themes, and so very Metallica sort of edge to Bloodthirsty. But the Sea of Tears is very atmospheric. There's a lot of moods and kind of feeling to it. It's a very deep sort of song, and it kind of essence of like the Blade Runner soundtrack, you know, that movie.
Yeah.
So that kind of, you know, takes you somewhere on a journey. I'd probably say it probably would be the Holy War, I think, for me.
Okay. We'll leave Jace for a minute. Rob, what about you?
To be honest, I think I do really like them all, but the one that stands out for me, sort of head and shoulders above the rest, is probably the title track, Reside.
Yeah.
I remember writing it with the guys, and we were kind of in doubt about a couple of things. We changed a couple of things. I think it's the song that took the longest to sort of formulate. And it was hard work, but I think what we got in the end was like a big reward. And I played it to a mate of mine last week who's been over visiting from Australia. He's a metal drummer himself, and he was absolutely blown away. And I haven't heard it for at least a week. And I had it on full blast in the living room, and it just sounds massive. And all the hard work we put into it, you can hear it. It just comes out in that reward. It really is a beast of a track. And some things take longer than others. Some songs take a lot of work. Others can happen like straight away in 5 minutes. This one took a long time, but I think it was worth the time we put in. Hell of a track.
Steve,
also because we decided that. Sorry.
A lead up chorus, didn't you, kid?
What's that?
Say that again.
When you came back with Reside, and then you came up with that sort of like
bridge.
Chorus.
Yeah, the bridge.
Fucking hell! When we got that down, I mean, we was all like looking at each other. How would it? But man, it just kicked ass. It was great.
Yeah, it really works, doesn't it?
We got it to a point where, I mean, I know Jace, the singer Jace, sort of gets a bit arsy. Oh, for fuck's sake, we've got to move on. No, we haven't, because it's got to be right, you know? And because it was a type of track, I was happy with and I keep saying it's not the vocals, it's the phraseology, it's the way the lyrics have been written and the way I write them to the riffs. And then it just wasn't doing it for me in some parts of that song. And it's funny because when I mentioned it, Rob said, well, that bit really pisses me off as well. I was like, why didn't you say that? You know, because sometimes I feel a little bit like begrudged, sort of like say, I'm not too keen on that bit in case everyone says, oh, here he goes again. But that's just the way I am. I'm not a perfectionist by any means, but I think I know I got a good sort of like mind, a good ear for how things should sound.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's just my feeling on how things should sound, obviously. Whether it's what they think it should sound like, I don't know. But
well, I think you've done a good job on it. You know, it is a monster. Jace, let's come to you. What about you?
Probably the one I wanted to sound all over the place, a little bit like my head was Broken Mind. I wanted to sing it how I felt. Do you know what I mean? With the turmoil and the rest of it that people go through. It starts off nice, relatively nice and clean, and then it just gets nasty and a little bit gritty and a little bit all over the shop. Nothing's too uniform with it, and I wanted to just get it that way. I love the track.
Brilliant. Okay, so the album is out on the 23rd of May. I should imagine there's pre-orders and things like that going on.
Yeah, I've sorted out. Only just you could pre-order the album a week before. So
there's a little bit of a misdemeanor going on with that at the moment, because we was due to sign to this record label,
right?
And it didn't quite go according to plan. With certain aspects of what we was discussing and what we weren't discussing, because they're not the quickest people to get back to. But they sort of showed their sort of cards, their hand again, and we're back in discussion. But we was just contemplating just doing like a digital release,
right?
But we don't know yet. It's still in sort of limbo. But it'd be nice to get out a hard copy.
I think I think we just need to see what the response is from the general listener. Let's see where it goes from there, because I think rather than us playing, you know what I mean, and going out there and all that, someone might think about, do you know what I mean? It might be a little bit bigger than what we think, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? This is all brand bleeding new to me, so I don't know. But someone might take it on and think, yeah, and we'll see where it goes from there. Okay. Rather than us chasing around. I don't know if we need to do that yet.
Okay. So what is next for you guys with the album release in about 2 months' time? What plans have you got afoot?
A video. We got the video from 0 to 60 we need to get on track with. That's going on this Saturday. Well, it's been filmed this Saturday. And then we're going to have to rush on with the next one and then think about what our next single release is going to be.
Yeah.
This is the bit we're struggling with, really, Doug, is because there's so many strong tracks on the album, and we've all got favourites, and it's trying to pick a second single, really. It's proven to be quite a challenge.
It's one of those things, isn't it? You don't get radio play for 6-minute songs, but sometimes you got to bite the bullet, and there's been some bands I know that have released a longer track, shall we say, other than the 3 to 4 minute song, and they've just gone down a storm. And you know, that old mindset has got to be 3 minutes is out the window for me. And I'm speaking from a radio's perspective, so you know.
Yeah. But with, say, like Reside, I mean, that's already in for 6.5 minutes. So, do you think the radio might swallow that?
I shall have a ponder and let you know. But I think so. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
I was bloodthirsty for that single myself.
Yeah.
Because I think that gives people you know, what they're going to expect from us, really. You know.
Well, and then surprise them when the album comes out.
Well, yeah, it's like every song is different. It's got its own feel, hasn't it? It's
yeah.
It's not the same.
And we've definitely tried to like play it how it's meant to feel, if you know what I mean. Just to make it as real as what we can. If it's dirty, then we'll make it sound dirty. We'll put an element in there. If it's going to be clean, then boys, I got these guitarists in that can just do fucking anything. So I'm happy as a pig in shit, whatever we do, man.
Okay, we started talking about live gigs as well. Back from the Steve Grimmett thing. What have you got planned on that front? Anything or?
We're playing a punk festival next.
Yeah.
At the Fleece of Birkin. A
Okay.
full on crusty punk festival. I mean, I was contacted by a certain gentleman who wanted what he wanted to do. He wanted to put the main sort of forerunners of the 80s punk scene in a gig. But obviously our neighbours aren't sort of viable to do that. So he sort of contacted me and said, would you want to do the early Onslaught demos like you used to play back in the 80s down the Trinity Church where all the punk bands used to play?
Yeah.
So well, I'll have a chat with the guys and see what they think. So we're gonna play 5 minutes of the early demos and then do on your album.
Yeah, it's 8 tracks, isn't it?
Yeah, just to keep them happy. And then we said, that's it. We've run out of tracks, so we're going to do our own stuff now. Baptise them with insult.
I think it'll go down the storm.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see why not.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Anything you want to say to the people who are listening?
Go out and buy our album in some form. Or at least listen to it. That's your job to play it, Dave.
It is my job, yes. And I do know your manager as well.
What, Kevin?
Yes, I'm actually his boss.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. This is that radio station.
Yeah, it is that radio station.
Oh,
okay.
So if there's anything you want me to do to make his life harder, please do tell me.
Don't worry, I'm quite capable of
that. Or any juicy gossip I can put in the social group we've got going on behind the scenes, just to make his life a little bit more sticky and awkward. You know,
he didn't tell me that it was you. He was doing this interview tonight.
See, I kept it a secret from him.
Yeah.
I shall tell him in a minute, and the colour in his face will probably just disappear.
No, I've known Kev since 1987, right? 86, in fact. So I've known him a long time. When we were coming up from the ranks as a teeny little Wincy thrash band back in the 80s. He took hold of us and said, I know a fucking major label wants to sign you. Yeah, right. But he did. He knew 6 major labels that want to sign us. We signed to one of them. The wrong one, admittedly, but we signed to one of them.
Well, it happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good at the time, kid, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's the way it felt. I don't think you come away. Yeah, I don't think anyone come away unhappy.
Okay.
But I think as far as a band, we've all got a lot of years behind us. We all got a lot of life experiences. We're all from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Working wise and all that, and experiencing the big bad wide world. And I think we can just all come in and chip a little bit of that in, and it's real life. It ain't bullshit made up. It's I think we put a lot of feeling and a lot of our heart and soul and all that into what we're doing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think it shows in the music. I really do. There's a lot of reality in the music as well as creativity as well. So it's
we wanted to keep that the realism of it all. We didn't want to clean everything up, you know. We just want to keep it raw. raw as we could. You know,
We did have some.
it worked really good.
We did have some quite sticky, challenging moments with the format that we recorded the album with. To be honest with you,
Right.
For certain aspects in the studio that were going on. No, it wasn't haunted, but it seemed like
I like it
sometimes.
before.
Yeah, it was suitable, functionable, and very handy, but it wasn't ideal.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
we've got
it's a bit challenging, man.
Yeah, we got what we got out of it.
Well, guys, time is running out. It's been an absolute pleasure. I wish you well with Reside Infernus. It is out on the 23rd of May. I think people should go and try and find you on the old socials and give you a follow as well. So I'm assuming you're on Facebook and Instagram and all that kind of rubbish.
Yeah,
and do you have your own website as well?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Insultofficial.com.
Excellent stuff. Guys, I hope to meet you in person sometime soon. We're not too far away in the country. So please have a great time and
thanks for the
best of luck.
Shout as well.
Yeah, cheers.
Any support you give us will be greatly appreciated.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks, mate.
All the best, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.